more than 3 months ago, ProPublica began publishing a series of stories. These stories were based on what they have described as, quote, a vast trove of Internal Revenue Service data on the tax returns of thousands of the nation's wealthiest people covering over 15 years, and ProPublica, quote, I have spoken about this apparent leak or hack on IRS data before. During the August recess, Political's pros, Morning Tax, writing about ProPublica, noted that, quote, it's been almost 2.5 months since it ran its first story on that leaked tax data, and though the leak is perhaps the worst in IRS's history, the government has yet to say anything publicly about how it happened, end of quote. As absurd as that statement is, it is also accurate, and I'll speak about the accuracy of that. The Biden administration has not said what happened regarding perhaps the worst leak or hack in the history of the IRS. Now, doing my constitutional duty of congressional oversight, I've sent letters to the IRS and to the Attorney General and to the FBI, who have provided an embarrassingly small amount of information in response to my letters. The first ProPublica story was published on June 8th this year. On June 11, I joined Leader McConnell, Finance Committee Ranking Member Crapo, on a letter to the Attorney General Garland and FBI Director Wray. Days later, on June the 16th, I sent a letter with other Judiciary Committee members asking more detailed questions. It took almost 2 months for the Department of Justice to respond to these letters by sending me 2 copies of the same form letter in response to my letter. Dated August the 10th, one of the letters contained an apparent typo in that it purports to be in response to a letter dated June the 6th, 2021. Given that ProPublica began publishing stories about this on June the 8th, if I was clairvoyant enough to write a letter on the leak 2 days earlier, I would already know what really happened. The fact the department responded to 2 different letters with the exact same form letter and couldn't correctly refer to my letters shows a lack of diligence that is not unique to this matter. In response to a different letter I sent with Senator Crapo to the Commissioner of the IRS, Reddick, I received a recent response that states, quote, we do not yet have any information concerning the source of the alleged taxpayer information published by ProPublica, end of quote. Now, the IRS Commissioner is advocating for Congress to pass an expansive new reporting requirement for the IRS. Every bank account over $600 is going to be sent to the IRS for their review and use if they want to go after the taxpayers. If Commissioner Reddick doesn't even know whether ProPublica information came from the IRS, how can he assure us the IRS can properly protect this new information that they want the Congress to pass? I don't think he's going to be able to convince anybody of that. I ask unanimous consent that the response I've received from the Department of Justice and the IRS be printed in the letter, or in the record.
Without objection.
I call on Attorney General Garland, FBI Director Wray, and Commissioner Reddick to take the apparent leak or hack of taxpayers' information very seriously and cooperate with our constitutionally mandated responsibility to conduct oversight to see that the laws are faithfully executed. The protection of taxpayers' information provided to the IRS is of critical importance to the basic functioning of government. Determining the source of the information published by ProPublica should be a top priority for our nation's tax enforcement agency and allegedly premier law enforcement entity. I intend to continue working with Ranking Member Crapo of the Finance Committee and anybody else to continue looking into this matter. I hope that we're able to resolve how any confidential taxpayer information was obtained from the IRS and those responsible are held accountable.